you don't need shoes on Caye Caulker, you need shoes on San Pedro. It was like 35 cents for lime, and then the next day it was 75 cents for lime.
If you're doing a month-to-month rent, it's like 500 US plus. So essentially, if you're buying that land, you have to build commercial.
On Caye Caulker, it doesn't matter if we have tourists that like have money or do not have money, they just want this biking experience. All right, guys, if you missed some of the information that we had in Rachel's video, then be sure to check out her YouTube video. The link is right here. The name of her real estate is Luna Realty. Once you check that out, then come back to my video and we can continue with what we were discussing. The nightlife has changed since that one flow because now we have 2 nightclubs on Caye Caulker.
So 50-50 chance of running into the boy that you like.
Yeah, exactly. Chances are reduced now. So now we have Vibras and we have I&I Reggae Bar. And unfortunately, the sports bar did burn down.
Yeah.
That's where everyone used to go from 10 to 12. Now I think it's a lot spread out. Like you might find people at Salties, you might find people at Vendors, you might find people at Enjoy, you might find people at Caribbean Fusion, or even Tipsy. So I think it's really sad for sports bar. And I will say they have opened up again, but they're in a new location.
Are they on the beach still?
Still on the beach.
Okay.
But everyone does not concentrate there anymore from 10 to 12 like they used to. And they also don't have their house DJ over there anymore from 10 to 12.
Got it.
Yeah, so it is sad what happened there. One positive is that a lot of other locations get a chance to like have the crowd from that time now.
So would you say that the change really happened because the sports bar burned down? Wow.
Yes.
So, and that was fairly recently too.
Yeah.
Oh wow, interesting.
Yeah, because that was like cemented in like the routine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, so it definitely shook it up a bit.
Because that's where the expats would go. That's where the backpackers would go.
Right.
And then because everyone's there, that's where the locals would go.
Yep.
And then, so yeah.
That's what I gotta say. One thing that I really like about both of these islands is that everybody is just integrated into the same places.
Yeah.
Right. So you go here and there's gonna be that whole mixture of people. You go here, there's the whole mixture of people. Some areas, like some bars and restaurants, are more geared maybe towards locals or tourists or expats, but a lot of them really mix well, which is cool.
So you can be like, okay, this is like the type of crowd I want tonight, and then you like, you know,
you gravitate towards it. Yeah. But it's interesting though that you mentioned that about the 10 to 12 and then the clubs go, like they go to the clubs after, because here, so we used to have 2 more clubs, Jaguars and Daddy Rock, which you probably remember them, right?
Yeah,
They're, neither of them are open anymore, but
that's crazy.
Like, I would say that 10 to 12 is everyone's going to Sunset Lounge.
Got it.
Right? And then after that, there's Allure for night clubbing. I think they're open until 3, 4 maybe. And then Live as well. And I think they're open until probably about the same time. But yeah, it's not like the nightlife here is
like crazy
huge
or anything.
You know, and I think sometimes people expect more of a nightlife, but because a lot of people are doing tours during the day,
tired.
Yes, they're exhausted. And especially you're getting up with the sun here, like 5:36. And then, you know, by the time 7, 8, 9 o'clock rolls around, you're like yawning and ready for bed.
I will say that Caye Caulker has a lot more traffic during the day.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot more traffic during the day. And I almost feel like it's to my detriment because it's so hot during the day. So I have this rule where I don't leave the house before 3 p.m. Like I sit inside the AC until 3. Yeah, I'm not going to walk around until like 3 p.m. That's why I don't have a tan, okay?
It does get hot. And I also imagine that because Caye Caulker is closer to Belize City, that you probably get a lot of cruise ship people, right, who are just porting for the day. They'll go take that 15-minute puddle jumper to the island.
That's the other thing.
It's like 10, I guess.
Yeah, so when it's cruise ship day, like the island is full everywhere. Like most beachfront restaurants are loaded, like the beachfront stalls, like with the grills and the guys cooking the lobsters and the chicken and everything, like long lines. And so that's the other thing like I want to skip to. So it's just like
so you have to come to San Pedro, walk in the street, and then you're walking around at 12:30 in the afternoon here. You're out early. Yeah, no, that would be too hot too. One time I made the mistake because I took like I was going scuba diving. I was like scuba diving Esmeralda. So I woke up so late. I thought we were supposed to depart at 9. We were supposed to depart at 8. And so, you know, Caye Caulker, you don't have to wear shoes on Caye Caulker. I'm just gonna say, San Pedro, you have to wear shoes. Yeah, you really have to.
So that's another big difference. I just jumped on my golf cart from my house and like drove over to the tour operator, and I forgot my shoes. Like I forgot my slippers.
So I got to San Pedro. We stopped here for lunch and I had no shoes. I had no shoes. It was so hot. I was dying. Also pretty embarrassed. But yeah, another difference. You don't need shoes on Caye Caulker. You need shoes on San Pedro.
Yeah, and you will see some people here that are barefoot. But, you know, here we have the cobblestones and we have dogs that roam. And
I would not be barefoot on San Pedro. That would be a hard no for me.
Agreed. But sometimes you just see the bottoms of people's feet and you're like, I hope they shower before they get into bed.
That's what you call key foot.
Key foot,
yeah. Key foot. Sense. Yeah, like this. I show the footage because I have a lot of B-roll of key foot where I was just like...
And you're showing people's feet?
Yeah. I show like the bottom of their foot and everything and I'm like, yeah, that is like key foot for sure.
Yeah.
You grew up not wearing shoes. Yeah.
Well, if you grow up not wearing shoes, you're so used to it.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, yeah, that is so true. I do have a little brother. When we moved to the US, I moved there for university and he was about like 10 or something. He used to cry every day for PE because he didn't want to wear shoes. Yeah, because he grew up on the island with no shoes, right? Yeah, like every day he would cry because he did not want to put on shoes to go to school.
Oh, that's a circle. Yeah. Where in the US did you have
Houston.
Oh, wow. Okay, and it's not like it's freezing up there either way. It's boots.
Yeah, you had to wear shoes. Yeah, so that was like, you know, culture shock for him. Yeah.
It's so funny with culture shock, right? It's just a little bit of the reverse. Mm-hmm. But you do see some expats and gringos who definitely like slid here into island life. Oh, for sure. You know, they're walking around without their shoes on.
I'm sure I've seen them at like YOs.
Yeah, that's like the place that they would go.
Yeah, I've seen them. When Dennis is performing, Dennis is a famous musician. Yeah.
Really funny. So what would you say is something that like you wish that you had in Caye Caulker that you don't have, if anything?
Some place where I can enjoy nice cocktails and food that's not your typical Belizean, you know, that's not on your typical Belizean menu, like quesadillas, rice and beans, burgers, wings, like just something unique, like infused.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't have that. I wish we did.
Do you think it's coming?
On the north side.
Okay.
It's coming on the north side. Yeah. It's not going to be on the south side.
Well, that's right, because you're saying the north side's getting more of the developments, right? More land up there. I get it to do this.
Yeah, and after having opened a bar, I can understand why people don't offer that. Because if you train someone up to do that and then they leave or it doesn't work out with them, train someone again to create those dishes is really difficult. And also to source the items for those dishes is very difficult as well, especially on Caye Caulker. Like you guys have supermarkets here where you can get like unique things, like maybe, you know, stuff for cooking Indian food or Chinese food or whatever, you know. We don't have that on Caye Caulker. So you're gonna have to be sourcing it from Belize City. So I can understand why it's difficult to do that. And like I said, we have a very lax work culture. So if someone does not come in one day and you need someone to know how to cook these items, you might be setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, right. People come expect and then you're like, sorry, chef hasn't come in. So here you're getting quesadilla today.
Yeah, and then, you know, people have suggested, oh, why don't you bring someone in from the mainland or from San Pedro? That would be nice, except your payroll just went up by a lot.
Right.
Because you need to be able to cover cost of living on the island. You can't bring in a local and pay them a local salary and have them pay rent that's geared towards Americans.
Yeah.
Like it's not gonna work. Yeah, it's not gonna work. So you either find a local to work with or you offer them a free place to stay. And if you don't have somewhere to offer them to stay, like, I don't know how you're gonna afford it, and I don't know how your business is gonna stay afloat.
Right. I can understand that. It is fairly similar here too, especially with rent. And I mean, just the cost of living. I think the cost of living all across the world has just gone up over the last few years, but I mean, here we've seen it. I mean, it's like day to day. You go to the grocery store and it's like, oh, and I've talked about this before in the podcast that we have, but it's like this block of cheese, this Philadelphia block of cheese was $11.95 Belize last week. Oh, now it's $16.95 here. Like, it's just wild with some of the prices. And, you know, people are paying them. But I think the big thing too is to shop not necessarily the imported foods, shop more the local brands and the local foods, because then you don't get those crazy price tags.
I remember when I was running the bar, and one day it was like 35 cents for lime, and then the next day it was 75 cents for lime.
Yep.
I almost caught a heart attack. I was like, I don't want to put lime in anyone's drinks right now.
No margaritas.
Yeah.
Margaritas are made with watermelon today, folks.
Yeah, that like it's crazy. Yeah.
Would you say like comparative, is Ambergris more expensive than Caye Caulker? Like your cost of living and going out? Because I haven't been to Caye Caulker in a couple years, honestly.
Way more expensive. I can say that, you know what, I don't pay for rent. So I don't pay for rent, but at one point...
That's the way to do it, folks.
I was looking around at prices to see how much it costs to rent and stuff like that. And for the type of apartment that I would be expecting for myself, which is something nice with AC, at least 1 bedroom, 1 bath. Honestly, I would rent my mom's place. Like, if you guys come to Caye Caulker, rent my mom's place, because she has some of the nicest rentals on the island.
Go give a shout out to the name of the place.
Kokomo Beach Suites.
There you go.
Yeah, it's so nice. That's where I'm living right now until the kitchen's finished, and then I'm being booted out. But
so then you will have to start looking for a place.
No, then I moved to my grandma's.
Oh, there you go. Okay, you gotta know people.
No, I'm scooting over. But that's 1,500 US a month. And
4,000.
1,500.
1,000.
Yeah,
okay,
1,500 US a month. It's directly on the beach, directly off the water taxi, in the middle of the village. But also, like, it's not front street access, so it does feel like a little like cove. It does feel pretty private, right? So yeah, that would be the cost for the type of apartment that I would go for. I have seen, you know, expats living on the island long term, and they pay about 700 to 800 US a month.
Oh, that's
good. It's typically like, it's usually like a studio.
I'm not on the beach, right? Maybe.
Well, Caye Caulker is so narrow. It's not on the beach, but it might be on middle streets. We have Front Street, Middle Street, Back Street.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like here, yeah.
Yeah, Front Street, Middle Street, Back Street. And then when you get to the very south of the island, that's when it gets like a lot wider.
Right. So you probably still have water views to some extent.
Yeah, for sure.
Middle Street. Yeah. I'd say that's definitely on the lower side here, 700 to 800. I'd say for anybody looking for a 1 bedroom, you're looking between 900 to 1,100 US a month. Okay. And then 2 bedrooms on the beach, you're looking anywhere from about 1,500 to about 2,000.
That's not bad though.
No, it's not bad. But if you want a 1 bedroom on the beach, you're definitely in more of that 1,500 range. A little bit less, but it depends entirely, like you're saying, on the quality. Yeah. Right? Like, is there AC? Is there hot water? What are the amenities that you have? What are the views that you have? How close? And here, because the island is so long, right? What is the distance to town? Because, you know, the nice advantage that you have in Caye Caulker is that, like you said, you don't need a golf cart.
Like, you can walk or you can ride a bicycle.
Right. And here, like, if you go just like more than a couple miles,
you have to invest in like a car or a golf cart. Yeah.
You have to. And I know monthly rent for a golf cart, if you're doing a month-to-month rent, it's like 500 US plus. Per month, right? That's like being in the States and renting it, like leasing a BMW.
That is
you know,
crazy.
You get like your 2002 club car for $500 a month, but that could be a 2024 BMW in the States.
Yeah.
But it gets you from point A to point B.
Plus you have to put in the gas, which is like what, like 6-7 US a gallon?
Yeah, something like that.
So yeah.
But that's
when I fill up my golf cart on Caye Caulker, I put in like $40 US, and it lasts me like 3 weeks.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on how far you're going, right? And on Caye Caulker, where it's like yay big.
Super tiny.
But you have the split to split, right? So you can take your golf cart across to the north
side. Or
your
bicycle or whatever.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do they have like shuttles that'll take you up north? Like once you land, or you have to have your own transportation?
No, you have to have your own transportation. But if you're staying at El Ben, they would send someone to pick you up.
Okay.
Or if you're staying at Belizean, they would send someone for you as well. But if you just want to go there and explore, like you need to have your own transportation. And then I will say food on Caye Caulker is a lot cheaper than on San Pedro. And so are the drinks a lot cheaper.
Yeah, tell us about your martini, espresso martini.
Well, I can't find any espresso martini.
So there's not even a comparison.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't find any espresso martini on Caye Caulker. I can only compare Wells drinks basically. So like a Tito's soda water, I think that's like 15
here.
Oh, so it's the same.
Yeah, I guess it depends where you go. 15 to 18 depends on where you're at.
I think it would be like 15 Belize dollars on Caye Caulker.
What about a bucket of Belizean?
Like 30 Belize.
Yeah, it's about the same.
Oh, really?
Well, I think alcohol is kind of similar.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Well, and because, you know, Belize, there's such high customs and duties on alcohol, so I feel like it's pretty similar maybe across the different locations.
I don't know why I thought it was more expensive.
But food, I guess food's more expensive.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
I went to I'm not gonna call them out, but I went to a restaurant here on San Pedro, and it was $36 for a cheesecake. I almost fell off my chair.
For the whole cake?
No, for a slice.
What?
Yes.
Well, that's probably because the Philadelphia cream cheese is now $16.95 for a block.
That's crazy. Like, that's so crazy. I almost fell off my chair. I was like, you know what? I don't pay this much at Cheesecake Factory, and they're like made
5
for times the
cheesecakes.
price. Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh. And then I feel like a plate of food here at a restaurant is like nothing less than $30 or something like that.
Yeah, that's about right.
I feel like Caye Caulker has anywhere from 15 to, like, if you're paying 35 Belize dollars, you're paying a lot. You're rich or whatever.
Yeah, you're getting a really nice plate of food.
Yeah, and I don't cook very much, so my food. I mean, it doesn't even make sense to shop as a single person, to be very honest, because by the time I'm finished grocery shopping, I spent like $100.
Yep.
So I have like my routine for where I go to eat for each time of the day, and my meal is usually like grilled chicken, veggies, some rice, 15 Belize dollars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad. And I'd say with the more of like the local dishes, that's about like 15 to 20 Belize is what you'll get it for here.
Yeah. And
then if you want anything, like if you're going to Blue Water Grill or you're going to one of the nicer places,
different.
You're looking at about 30 to 50 Belize a plate.
So maybe it is pretty similar. Maybe I just like the expensive places when I come to San Pedro. So it's
you're going to the craft cocktail places.
Yeah, it's a me problem. It's not a San Pedro prices problem.
But there definitely is, like, when we compare it to the real estate, at least, like the real estate prices are pretty different. Like you were saying, Belizean, you can get a nice place there for like
300 and something.
Yeah, that's
sale. Yeah,
that's good. Like, we can't really find that here for a brand new property, 2-bedroom here at all. At least on the water. Not gonna find it. What would you pay, for example, like for a first or second row to the water lot, just a lot?
First or second row, I would say like maybe 70,000 US. Is that good? Or?
That's amazing.
Yeah, like
so
70,000 US.
Well, I'm thinking for like second row here. So second row, you can probably get it for about 100. It's like 100 to 150.
Well, it also depends on where it is, because I'm thinking north side or South Point.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking north side or Caye Caulker, so past the split.
Yep.
Or South Point, where you're off grid, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So South Point is all off grid. It's all own water, own like solar, everything.
Yeah, but they have, BEL has put in all the lampposts already. So we know it's coming, but we don't know when. It might be a year from now, 2 years from now, but the lampposts are in. So
progress.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's good. And then about the north side, you think that's more of like a luxury?
Yes.
Like more of a luxury
100%.
market there?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's definitely going to be the more refined areas, the more upscale area. So I'm curious to see how that unfolds. Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited for it, to be honest.
Well, it's pretty neat to see, like, even here in San Pedro. So I mean, you can just tell from the congestion in town in San Pedro, like there's just not enough space. There's no more space for more golf carts or cars to come in, because we just have so many people coming in. This is like the highlight of the island. This is where everybody's centered around. This is where the water taxi comes in. This is where the flights come in from Belize City. So I know that there's been a lot of momentum in moving the population north, right? There is a new subdivision where they have put the police station in. There's land cleared for a school and hospital.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, so it's called the Heredia subdivision. So they're trying to move the population north. However, there's been a pretty big disconnect with people living north and then getting to town affordably, right? You're saying there's $10 US to go a mile. Well, if you're 10 miles north, who's paying $100 US to get to town one way, right?
Yeah,
this is where a lot of the jobs are and the opportunities. So it's like this big disconnect about what they want. I mean, I think it's going to unfold at some point, and we have been seeing a lot more progress. We've been seeing roads going in up there. You know, there's electricity that goes to the northern part of the island.
Maybe they're gonna need like public like shuttles or something like that.
And I did just see for the first time a little school bus. It was so cute. The little kids got out of the bus, for the kids that live up north. Because, you know, parents, if they're working, they can't stop in the middle of the day and take their kid, pick their kid up and take them up. So I thought that was good to see.
Oh, that is nice.
And it is interesting. I know of 3 new developments that are going up about like 8 to 10 miles north, and they're larger upscale because they have land up there, right? So when you have land and you can do a little bit more with the land, it's not just these like 2 or 3 towers that you're building. It's more of like a planned development and can tend to be a little bit more upscale, at least if it's planned, right? There's that community element that goes to it, but it'll be similar here. It's all just going to be time. I'm going to take time. That seems to be the name of the game in Belize.
I do think that one thing we can do better on Caye Caulker is to have zoning.
All across the country. I mean,
we should have zoning. Yeah.
Because you don't know. Like, this is what I tell the clients when they're looking at land. Like, get as much land around you as you can afford because you want to preserve your view. And people sometimes they'll go look at land and they're like, this is so beautiful up here. And I'm like, yeah, and just remember that all of the lots or all that land around you are surveyed lots. So you don't know what's going to be in 5 years or 10 years or 15 years now. And so if there is proper zoning or if you're in like a planned community, then at least you have an idea of what can go around you. No, not quite here.
You're like, okay, this is going to be in front of me. This is going to be next to me, but I do wish you would have zoning because the residents and businesses suffer when you don't allocate a space specifically for them. I hope our government plans the north side of Caye Caulker a bit better.
Same for the north
So
here. A little bit more urban planning would go a long way. Like, I sometimes think about Secret Beach and like what a shame Secret Beach is, because if it was like Placencia, Placencia has a cute boardwalk, there's shops on either side of the boardwalk, it's clean, it's just a really cute, charming place.
Like, that's a commercial area.
It's like a designated commercial area. And if they did something like that at Secret Beach, I think it would have been a smashing success.
I think so too.
Right now they're selling land there for like $2 million in between for the parcel, just the parcel off grid up there, right? In between two of the bars. So essentially, if you're buying that land, you have to build commercial. You don't have to, right? Because there's no rules, but
it's only worth that money if you're gonna recuperate like some of your expenses at least. Because I don't even know how long it would take you to recuperate like $2 million
for a bar restaurant. A long time. Especially because there's so much competition in that area, you have to do something really unique. So that's just for the land, right? Then you have to build on top of that. So it will take a substantial amount of time. But that's one thing I think that unfortunately happened at Secret Beach, was not properly subdividing it into a commercial space, into residential areas. And green spaces and all of that. But I guess you learn your lessons, right?
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
That's
exactly right.
So on Caye Caulker, we have a population of approximately 2,000 people that are actually living on the island full time. In terms of the size of the island, the entire island from north to south, including north side Caye Caulker, which is past the split, is 5 miles long. So it's very, very tiny. Culture and lifestyle, definitely very laid back, slow, chill. The motto is go slow for a reason. That does include service. Most people on the island don't even own a cell phone. So like two employees that I had working with me, I had to lend them an iPad so I can contact them.
And they probably didn't even want it. Like, don't call me on during my
day. That is how they are.
Yeah,
that is how they are. So very laid back culture. And you have to be ready for it. Like, a lot of people enjoy it when they're visiting and then they decide to purchase property and move to the island. But you have to realize that this is the culture day in and day out. So you have to be ready for that.
Patient. And so island population is about 20 to 25,000, just depending on the time of year. So during high season, it swells more because you have more of the snowbirds who are coming down. The island size is about 26 miles long, about 1 mile wide at its widest point. And then the lifestyle culture here, like, it's not quite go slow, it's like go a little faster. But it's not necessarily like go fast like it is in North America. Right, there's still a lot of things. Then I remember one of the people, the expats that I met here, she would always tell me, like, pack your patience, because it's a lot of bureaucratic stuff that you just can't change. It's slow and you can't change a culture, and you shouldn't want to change a culture, right? You're not coming into this new location to change it. But I would say, not quite go slow, but it is definitely faster than Caye Caulker. And you'll notice that just from the moment that you land from the water taxi and you're there in Central Park, and people are gonna be like, you want a golf cart? You don't necessarily have those hustlers like you have in the Dominican or Mexico, but they'll be like, you want a golf cart? Like, come try this restaurant. And it's just like, whoa, like there's a lot going on here. But it's still slower than it is, I would say, to a lot of North American or like really big resort towns around the world.
I will say that on Caye Caulker, even like one of the benefits about things, being go slow, is that you feel like you get your time back. Like, you feel like your hours count in the day, versus when I was living in the US or even Europe. Europe was a bit better. My day would just go by, my week would just go by. and I don't know where all my time went.
Yeah.
Like I felt like I didn't have much me time, versus on Caye Caulker, you have a lot of personal time, and it's not just limited to me, it is the lifestyle there. Yeah.
And it's a good point too, you know, for people that are relocating to these islands, you know, that for some people could be great, rediscovering yourself. You know, for other people, I think they sometimes get lost in having
they get like antsy, like what do I do with myself?
Find hobbies, right? Go on the boat, take up snorkeling or diving or water aerobics, right? That's a popular one.
Yeah, that's another thing I want to get into as well. It's community, because Caye Caulker does have a big community. You have like the micro communities, so you have like the expats, like the locals, you know, but it doesn't mean that we don't intermingle. Like everyone does intermingle on the island. So I would say community is a big thing, and I would say from like the first day that you get there, you already feel like you are a part of the community. It takes you a bit more to learn the dynamics of the community, but from day one, you feel like you are part of a community.
It makes a difference, right? And I know that's why a lot of people end up staying in Belize, is because of the people, right? The relationships that they have with either locals or other expats or even tourists that they meet. Right? I know that I found that really fun for a while, is just, you know, sitting there and talking to people. Where are they coming from? How long are they here for? What brought them to Belize? And it's a really good group of people here. It's just really unlike, like, have you ever gone to other Caribbean islands? And it's just very unlike any of the other Caribbean islands.
I feel like the difference is that Belize is one of the few places where the locals and tourists mix and hang out a lot, like form bonds. When I am a tourist in other countries, I tend to hang out with other tourists. So I think that's the difference.
Yeah, entirely. Entirely. And like I'd say, this is the one country that I've been to where after a tour, you're going out to eat with your tour guide, or you're talking to the bartender for so long that you know the name of their kids and their dogs, and next thing you know, you're inviting them up to come visit you. Like I've known more locals here who have gotten their US visas to go visit people that they met who are on vacation here, right? Like,
Same. We just had this girl on Caye Caulker, or woman. We had this female who had this family that just loved her, that would visit Caye Caulker every year, and they took her on a trip to Cancun. It was her first time out of Belize.
Oh my God, how amazing is that?
Yeah,
you don't hear that happening, and I think maybe a lot of it does have to do with English, right? English being the primary language. So, you know, when you're going on vacation to, let's say, Cancun or Dominican Republic, if you don't speak Spanish, well, then your interactions with the bartender or tour guide are limited, right? To what they know how to say in English, or that you know how to say in Spanish. So it is funny. It's like, I got my US visa, I'm gonna go visit my friends in Houston. I know my partner, he's like, I'm gonna go visit my friends in Alaska, and he did. He went like last July, and he's sending me pictures of them like salmon fishing, you know, in the river.
Oh my God.
And I was just like, he's like, this is a time that like I dreamed of, because you meet these people and they come back over and over and over. So you build relationships with them, right?
They become a part of the community.
Exactly. It's hysterical. Yeah, it's one place I'd say that it's so unlike anywhere else.
Yeah, I agree. So if you are looking to purchase property on San Pedro, be sure to reach out to Rachel. Her company's name is Luna Realty. And
perfect. And if you're looking for real estate on the beautiful island of Caye Caulker, make sure you're reaching out to Giselle. Her company is Premier Realty, and she is located on Caye Caulker, and will give you an incredible experience.
See you guys in our next video.
Bye, everyone.